The title of this story is about that time I got reincarnated as a slime. And the author is Tensei. The Japanese title is Tensei Shitara, that slime Datta. This is the light novel of this. Okay, continue to chapter 1. Prologue. I will skip the translator notes. Okay, so this is the prologue. Prologue, Death and Reincarnation. A life so normal that nothing can be said about it. After leaving college, I joined a major general contractor firm, and I am living alone now at the age of 37, having no girlfriend. Filial duty left to my older brother, my life is essentially that of an independent single noble, neither short or of height or wanting to of a good face, yet unpopular. I have tried exerting effort into finding a girlfriend and have confessed thrice, but after being dumped, my heart is left shattered. Well, having reached this age, I can honestly say that this romance thing is not but troublesome. And although you could say that I am mostly busy with work, it's not like I'm troubled by not having one. It's not like I am making excuses. Really. Senpai, sorry for keeping you waiting. With a cheerful smile, the young man approaches me, and by his side a beauty. More specifically, the young man, Tamura, is a junior at the same company I work at. At the same company I work at. The one by his side is our company's renowned Madonna, the receptionist Sawatari-san. Yep, I have been asked by these guys to offer consultation on their upcoming marriage. And by the way, this is the reason why I started wondering about my own unpopularity. The after-work rendezvous was held at an intersection, and there the two hoped to indulge my thoughtfulness and support. Yeah, so what kind of advice are you looking for? I asked while greeting Sawatari-san. Hello, pleased to meet you. My name is Sawatari Miho. Although we have seen each other before, this would be the first time we are speaking, right? Makes me nervous somehow. The nervous one is me. Damn it. I mean, I am not that good with speaking to girls in the first place. Cut me some slack. With such words, I silently complained to myself. And in the first place, with no apparent love experience, what kind of advice can I even offer? Aren't you all just poking fun at me? It's spite, isn't it? Hello, I am Mikami Satoru. No need to be nervous or anything. Sawatari-san is famous with us, so I know who you are, even without the introduction. About Tamura, we went to the same university, so we've had lots to talk about, after which we naturally hung out a bit. What's this about being famous? Are there weird rumors floating about? Yeah, like having had an affair with the chief ex or going on dates with Hoikun, things like that. It was all just teasing, of course. And although I intended this to be just some light jokes, Sawatari-san's face turned bright red, and she looked at me with watery eyes. Hate to admit it, but she looked adorable. Well, my jokes lack both delicacy or tact, and I am often told to keep my mouth shut, but I end up saying them anyways. Yep, failed again, huh? Yep, I am just bad with women. And as if on cue, in steps Tamura, lightly tapping her shoulders. Damn it, Tamura, you bastard. It's these situations where you, Raju, should just all explode. I should shout this, right? Senpai, please leave it at that. And Miho, you are just being teased. With a laugh, Tamura continues mediating the situation. Aren't you Dandy Jr.? Bright, cheerful, and without a hint of sarcasm. Isn't he a lovable guy? Tamura's only 28, and although we are so many years apart, we've got something in common. Well, nothing to do, I guess, but to give them my blessing. My bad, I'm just not that good with women. And well, the location doesn't help much, does it? Let's get something to eat and talk there. It's just jealousy after all. And just when I thought so, kya? Screams, confusion. What's going on? Move it, I'll kill you. Turning to the sound of the voice, a man brandishing a knife and holding a bag is running towards us. I hear the scream. I see the man. I see the knife. Where is it pointing? At Tamura. Do. I hit Tamura out of the way. Dosu. There's a burning pain in my back. Damn, hindrance. Having shouted thus, I see the man escaping and turn to make sure Tamura and Sawatari-san are safe. With a shout that resembled no words, Tamura runs up to me. Sawatari-san is stunned with a sudden turn of events, but appears without other injury. Thank God. That being that, my back burns. Feelings of pain aside, it just burns. What's up with this? It's too hot. Can't it let off a bit? Confirmed. Establishing hate resistance success. Could it be, was I stabbed? Can't be dying from a stab wound. Confirmed. Establishing pierce resistance. Success. Additionally, establishing physical attack resistance. Success. Senpai, there's blood coming out. It's not stopping. It's ain't. What's up with this loud guy? Feel like his voice was strange just now. Well, that much can be expected from Tamura. But blood? Yeah, that's clearly living. I am human after all. When stabbed, I bleed. But pain is unpleasant, isn't it? Confirmed. Removing perception of pain. Success. Well, this is bad, right? Pain and impatience are muddling my senses. Tamura, you are damn loud. It is not that big of a deal, right? Stop worrying. Senpai, the blood. You keep. His face blue on the verge of tears. Tamura continues to hold me. That's the face that is the ruin of handsome men. I tried to take a look at how Sawatari-san was doing, but my vision is too hazy. Can't see. The burning sensation in my back is gone. Instead, a ferocious cold strikes me. This could be bad. When people don't have enough blood, they die, don't they? Confirmed. Creating a bloodless body. Success. Hey, you. What's this? You've been going on about the past few minutes. I try to speak, but no words come out. This is bad. Maybe I really will die. But hey, I no longer feel neither pain nor the burning. But it's cold, so cold, and nothing I can do about it. What's with this? I am too busy of a man to be freezing in this cold. Confirmed. Establishing cold resistance success. Additionally, heat resistance has successfully evolved into thermal fluctuation resistance. EX. At that time, the dying brain cells of mine, with a flush of inspiration, have remembered the truly important things. Yes, the contents of my PC hard drive. Tamura, if and only if I say I die, take care of my PC. I beg you, submerge it in water, turn it on, and completely wipe the data clean. Thus, I, having summoned the remainder of my strength, have conveyed the matters of most grave importance. Confirmed, attempting full format of all information. Error, impossible due to lack of definition. Attempting alternate interpretation, establishing electricity resistance. Success. Additionally, paralysis resistance has been acquired. I don't know exactly what Tamura was saying at that moment while giving me that blank look, but I understood the meaning of what was said. Haha, that's so like senpai, he said with a bitter smile. Who would even want to look at a man's crying face? That green is so many times better. You know, about Sawatari, I wanted to show her off to senpai. Hey, I knew it, this bastard. Jeez, I've forgiven all of it. If so, your girlfriend, make her happy. Got it? And take care of the PC. The last of my strength was only enough to say that much. Completely unsatisfied, Mikami Satoru died. And at that instant, Mikami Satoru's soul linked with the spawned monster in another world, into a dimensional crack so small that no one could see. His soul linked with a mass of demonic energy. This mass was the origin of demons, and to Mikami Satoru, who had linked to it his thoughts as a base, the mass constructed a body. What is normally is essential, an impossibility with an astronomical small chance of occurrence. Mikami Satoru was born as a monster in another world, a life so normal that nothing can be said about it. After leaving college, I joined a major general contractor firm. Oops. And I'm living alone now at the age of 37, having no girlfriend. Filial duty left to my older brother. My life is essential that of an independent single noble, thus a virgin. Unbelievable, departing the world without ever being put to use. My son must be crying right now. Sorry, I never could make you into an adult. When I am reborn, we'll change things around. Go on the offensive with a bang, call them out, and go on devouring spree. But that's no good, is it? Confirmed, unique skill predator has been acquired. And well, at almost 40 years old, the 30-year-old virgin that I am, in a magical world, would certainly be a sage. Heck, a great sage wouldn't be out of the question, would it? Confirmed, extra skill, sage has been acquired. Additionally, extra skill, sage has successfully evolved into unique skill, great sage. The hell you've been on about? The hell is great sage? Are you making fun of me? It isn't even a bit unique. I am not laughing here. So rude, thinking that I went to sleep. So this is death, huh? Not as lonesome as I thought. Those were for Mikami Satoru, the lost words spoken in this word. Okay, end of prologue. Chapter 1. Let's see what I can do. Translator corner. Clown, Roger Press. Clown. Cast, an English clown and the French Pierrot. Pierrot. Clown, you are depressed again, Pierrot. Pierrot, such is my face, but I must admit, there is a point I find most disagreeable. Clown, what exactly? Pierrot, the way I cannot tell Japanese words and onomatopoeia from English ones. Clown, I see. In that case, I will italicize all Japanese onomatopoeia and romaji words from now on. Pierrot, please do. Clown, but speaking of translating, I feel that the previous chapter post was far too boring this way. Pierrot, how exactly? Clown, just typing a translation without a hint of individuality, passion. Pierrot, well, Satoru Dono did just pass on after all. Clown, rather than passing on, he passed over and not passed on. Passion. Pierrot, oh, in that case, tell them a joke. Clown, very well, which circus performer can see in the dark? And acrobat. Pierrot, speaking of the dark. Empowerment arc, okay, chapter 1. Let's see what I can do. It's dark. The darkness envelops all, preventing me from seeing any shape or figure. Where am I? Besides, what had happened? Wasn't there someone making fun of me calling me a sage? No, a great sage. With that thought, I regained consciousness. My name is Mikami Satoru, a 37-year-old nice guy. While saving my kouai from some street slasher, I got stabbed instead. Alright, remembered. I'm okay. No time for panic. And really, could a cool guy like me even panic? Huh, that's as likely as a grade school kid. She, his pants. When I tried to look around, I finally noticed I can't open my eyes. That problem aside, when I attempted to touch my head, I noticed my arms don't respond. And even more perplexing is the fact that I cannot tell where my head is. Alright, time to panic. Oi, give me a second here. Just an hour, please. Let me catch my breath. They say that you should count prime numbers at a time like this, no? 1, 2, 3, duh. Wrong. That's not right. 1 is not a prime number, is it? No, who cares about that? No time for this foolishness. I mean, aren't I in trouble? Hey, what the heck happened? What if it's too late to even consider panicking? Gathering my thoughts, I confirmed that I am in no way in pain. No pain, feeling pretty good. Neither hot nor cold. Actually, a really comfortable atmosphere they've got here. I can relax a bit thanks to that. Next, let's check the limbs. Forget about them. fingertips. I can't even move a muscle. How could that be? It's not like one can lose their arms and legs from being stabbed. So what happened? And still I cannot open my eyes. Without seeing anything, I am in utter darkness. Dread and unease slowly creep their way into my heart. Could this be what they call a vegetative state? Consciousness separated from nerve endings immobile. Is this what it is? No, 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 no. Please don't let that be true. Just when I thought I was saved, vegetative state, what could be worse? Even losing a half of my body would be preferable. And yeah, both outcomes would be terrible. But to be alone in this darkness without any senses, isn't that just hell? Having imagined the worst scenario, panic has quickly turned into despair. I want to think it over. They say that when people are confined in darkness, they quickly go mad. I happen to be in that state right now and cannot even kill myself. Rather than despairing, the only thing I can do is go insane, huh? And then, touch. There was a sense of touch. What is? All my senses were focused on feeling that sensation. With a horizontal stroke across my belly, I felt something akin to grass. Focusing my entire consciousness in that area, I slowly began to make out the shape of my body, and by the way, the grass steep felt prickly against my body. It kind of made me happy, yet I'm still in complete darkness, and although I regained only one of my five senses, I could finally feel again. Amused, I decided to try to head towards that grass. Zururi. I could feel my body move. It moved. At that time, I was pretty certain that I was not on top of the hospital bed. Under my belly, I could feel some hard rock, maybe. I see. Though I don't really get it, I am not in a hospital. Moreover, my eyes still can see. Can't hear anything either, but it could be just that I've gone deaf. Although I don't know if I am facing it or not, I can't feel my head. After all, I'll head towards the grass. I'll learn about myself through contact. No scent in the air either. Could it be? Did I also lose the sense of smell? And seriously, I just can't understand the shape of my body. I really don't want to accept it, but it seems sleek, jelly-like, the kind that is really famous in RPGs. The appearance of that kind of monster. I have been entertaining that possibility in the back of my mind for a while now. No, no, there's no way. I mean, no matter how, it just can't be. For the time being, let's set those fears aside. Thus, I decided to try the last of the five human senses that I've ignored up until now. But I don't even know where my mouth is. What to do? Activate unique skill predator. Yes, no. Suddenly there was a voice in the back of my head. Wow, what was that? Unique skill predator? And what was that voice? I thought I heard a strange voice while talking to Tamura before, but I guess I wasn't just hearing things, huh? Is someone there? Yet, somehow, that doesn't fit. More than someone being here. It's more like words appearing in my mind. The voice lacks intent, like the voice that would come from a computer. Calling it synthesized would perhaps be most accurate. For now, no is my response. I am Japanese who can say no after all. Bringing up the words no in my mind, I wait for a response, yet it did not come. I waited for a bit but felt no voice. Seems like I won't be getting a second question. Did I choose wrongly? Could this be a game that ends when I don't choose yes? I thought that it would be the same as as in an RPG. The same question repeating until until I chose yes. I guess I was wrong. Asking a question and then leaving. What a rude guy. Though I have to admit, hearing a voice did make me slightly happy. I slightly regretted the decision. Well, nothing can be done now. I guess I'll go back to trying to taste something. I moved my body towards that piece of grass while verifying my sense of touch. I leaned my body on the piece of grass. I enveloped the object with my body to confirm to confirm what it is. And I was right. It is, in fact, grass. While touching the grass, the piece that was in contact with my body melted, and while I was worried that my body had melted, it seems to have been the grass only. And thus I understood that by melting the grass, it was incorporated into my body. It seems the grass melted because entered my body. It entered my body. In other words, rather than enveloping it, I seemed to have swallowed it. And by the way, it had no taste. This is, in other words, that kind of thing. I'm not a human. That is, I seem to have died from that stab wound, right? And that was not a question. I am completely certain of this fact, and thus, rather than a hospital bed, I can confidently say that I am at some rocky place where grass grows. What happened to Tamura and Sawatari-san? Has my PC been properly disposed of? Some suspicions still remain, but fretting over this won't achieve anything at this point. I have to decide what to do next. Actually, wait a moment. The me right now, is anything happening to me? And by the way, that earlier sensation, I once again directed my consciousness to myself. Puyon, puyon. My body moves with rhythmic motion. In that pitch-black darkness, I spent some time to figure out my appearance, and what a discovery. I used to be simply handsome, but now I have this sleek and sophisticated body style. Bah, are you an idiot? Don't accept it. From all that I have gathered about my body, only that description seems appropriate. No, you know, that description. I don't hate it, right? Yeah, some could even call it cute after all. But well, if you were asked, would you want to become one? I'd say 90% of people would reply the same way. However, all I can do is accept this situation. It seems that I have reincarnated as a slime. Mosha, 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 Mosha. I am eating grass. Why? Isn't it obvious? I have nothing to do. Since I have accepted, albeit grudgingly, the fact that I became a slime, a day has passed. The first concern on my mind was, of course, food. I first tried to see if the slime body can feel hunger. For that purpose, I first checked my surroundings and found a place where grass seemed to be abundant. On that note, I need to point out that the first grass was right by my side. When needed, I could eat it. Its sap seems to be usable in its own way. Being stuck in this complete darkness, I am very lucky to have had it so close. Even basic motion could result in death after all. And so, let's experiment. After counting 50,000 sheep, I got bored. I tried to see if I would fall asleep, but don't feel even a little bit tired. I tried counting prime numbers, but didn't know the next one, so I gave up. Shiritori by oneself is also pointless. Is there a way to kill time by yourself? TL's note. Shiritori is a game where you take the last sound in a word and make the next word with it. If there was internet, I could waste my time away endlessly. Cell phone games would also do. At this is torture. Meditating like an ascetic monk is impossible for an amateur like me. One thing I am still uncertain about where any animals run around here. There have been no signs of them until now. Well, having no sight, hearing, or smell, I can say there have been none close by until now. But I haven't been attacked by one until now at least. Thanks to that, without fearing for my life, I am leisurely living. That is the conclusion I reached after heroically suffering this mental agony. I do not feel hunger, nor do I need sleep. Seriously, my stomach neither craved food, nor did I ever desire sleep. As to how many days had passed, I could not tell in this darkness, nor have I heard that strange voice again. If I had, I wouldn't mind playing along now. Thus, since I have nothing to do, I am eating grass. Since I have no other way to kill time, I am quietly munching on some grass. Now, I've accumulated and dissolved so much grass in my body that I can sense it. If you asked what purpose that served, I would confidently respond, none. I am just afraid that if I don't do something, I'll go crazy. I've gotten used to the routine around here. First absorb, then disassemble, end with store, and then repeat. And that's where I found a point to investigate. Lacking an appetite brings forth another question. What about excretion? Clearly, food is unnecessary for this body, but what about excretion? The answer was, it's unnecessary. I have yet to excrete anything after all this time. Being a slime and all it is not unexpected for these things to be unnecessary. But in that case, what is this store thing all about? From what I've noticed, I haven't been changing in any way, but in that case, what happens with what I eat? Solution. It is stored in the stomach, associated with unique skill predator. At this moment, less than 1% is occupied. What a response! But since when have I been using that skill? I've never selected no. After all, solution. Unique skill predator has not been activated. Substances entering into the body are automatically stored. This function is modifiable. The responses are much more smoother now. Not that it's important. About the skill, what will happen if I use it? Solution. The effects of unique skill predator are predation, to absorb the target into the body. However, if the target is conscious, the success rate greatly decreases. The affected targets include organic matter, inorganic matter, skills, and magic. Analysis. The absorbed target is studied and analyzed. Craftable items can be produced. Should many items gather, a duplicate can be produced. In the case of successful skill or magic analysis, the same technique can be acquired. Stomach. The target can be stored. Items produced can also be stored. There is no storage time limit. Mimicry. Replicate the target's appearance. The skills and abilities used by the target can also be used. However, this depends on the successful analysis and acquisition of relative information regarding the target. Isolation. Materials harmful or unnecessary for analysis can also be stored. They will be used to replace magic energy. These 5 points are your power. Eh? It's been a while since I last trembled with excitement. Somehow I just heard of some incredible power. Such an amazing ability has never been held by a slime before. Wait, before that, the voice that hears my questions, what is this? Is there someone there? Solution. This is an effect of the unique skill Great Sage. For the sake of quickly utilizing your skills, a response function has been added. Great Sage, huh? A title I thought was given out to spite me. To think it would be so reliable now. From now on, I'll depend on it more. That being said, this is a pretty good situation. This could be the end to this isolation I thought eternal. Perhaps this voice is only an auditory hallucination I made myself. Well, that would be fine in its own way. And thus, since a long time ago, my heart has felt at ease. No, period. Status. Name, Nikami Satoru. Species, slime. Title, none. Magic, none. Abilities, unique skill, Great Sage. Unique skill, Predator. Slime skills, dissolve, absorb, regenerate. Resistances, thermal fluctuation. Resistance, EX. Physical attack, resistance, pain. Physical attack resistance. Pain, reception resistance. Electricity resistance. And paralysis resistance. End of chapter 1. Oopsie. Chapter 2. First contact. Let's skip the translator's note. Chapter 2 of Empowerment Arc. Chapter 2, First Contact. At that moment, it has been 90 days since I have reincarnated. To be precise, 90 days, 7 hours, 34 minutes, and 52 seconds. How can I be so sure? It's a function of the unique skill, Great Sage. Yeah, this skill sure is convenient. Great Sage saves the day. because it answers my any question. According to it, for the skill to establish itself in this body, 90 days are needed, and that would be established in this world sense. I mean, I was sure that I had possessed that skill since the beginning, but that was true only regarding my soul. Until now, it had been accessing and usurping the voice of the world, or so it explained. But damn, I didn't get any of that. It seems that normally a convenient skill that answers any question doesn't exist. The voice of the world is only audible when the world changes, a skill is acquired or undergoes an evolution. To answer my questions, the great sage skill had been appropriating that particular function. I hadn't heard of such an existence in my world, but it seems to be pretty normal here. In any case, things like skill acquisition and evolution are not everyday occurrences. When the world had recognized significant growth, and in rare cases it will grant a skill, evolution, on the other hand, transcends to common sense. Well, still am not certain whether I really got any of that, but nothing to do but to accept it. Although great sage now answers me any question, it is passive and lack an ego. If I don't talk to it, it won't come asking questions, and that's a shame. However, I am just happy to have a one-way conversation with someone. Though talking to my own skill, most would call me simply delusional, eh? And so, since I had nothing else to do in this darkness, I kept asking questions. As a result, I have confirmed that I am in fact a slime, vicious life form, non-rare life form. Lack of hunger and need to sleep had also been explained. The slimes of this world dine on magical energy and thus have no need for physical nourishment. Where there is poor energy concentration, monsters and small animals serve as an alternative, and so in this world, unexpectedly, the slimes of energy-deprived regions are extremely violent and strong. Wouldn't you expect regions with abundant energy be homes to strong monsters instead? In other words, where I am now is a place where food is unnecessary. That explained about sleep. Solution. Slime bodies are a composition of identical cells. Every cell serves a brain cell, nerve ending, and muscle at the same time. Thus, as thought process is undertaken by different cell at different times, sleep is unnecessary. And that was that. So where are my memories stored? At the very least, it seems not to be at a HDD RAID like structure, no? When thinking that I got a seems to be around somewhere. Response. This great sage guy seems pretty good at holding conversation. TL note, the term used here is aizuchi, which refers to interjecting into a monologue with a short phrase to indicate understanding. And so I got to wondering what the effects of great sage were. Solution. Unique skill. Great sage has the following effects. Thought. Raised thought processing speed by 1,000 times. Analysis and judgment, the ability to analyze and make judgments regarding a target. Parallel processing, the ability to detach thoughts and analysis of phenomenon. Chant, annulment, when using magic, the chant is no longer necessary. All of creation, the ability to comprehend any non-concealed phenomenon in this world. These 5 are your abilities, and that was that. But all of creation, could it be that I have obtained all the knowledge in the world without lifting a finger? Or so I thought, but in reality, depending on the information I understand and the things I know about, additional information can be inferred. In other words, I need to see it at least once, but for the matters that I have seen those, I understand through this power, the chant annulment. So after learning a skill, I do not need to recite anything. More importantly, there's magic in this world. The answer is yes. With this in mind, there's no need to memorize magic. Tried to see if that would work with Great Sage, and of course it didn't. Why did I try? Cause YOLO. Then I got an idea. Could I link together Predator's analysis and Great Sage parallel processing? Solution. Linking Predator's analysis and Great Sage parallel processing is possible. Will you link the abilities? Of course, yes or no? Of course, yes. Excuse me. But well, it's not like I have anything to analyze. Wait a second. That which has been collecting in my stomach, the grass, I ate to kill time. What is it? Since I got nothing to do anyways, might as well analyze it. And so, execute the skill at once. Period. Analysis has been completed. Hypocrite grass, used to create ointment, only grows in areas with abundant magical energy. If grass sap is combined with magical energy, an energy restoration pill can be created. If the grass is ground up and combined with magical energy, an ointment to stop bleeding can be created. Who could have known? All that weed I have been storing to kill time is basically as if a kid playing in the sand found diamonds. So I quickly began production of energy restoration pills and ointment. Though I say I began production, my body does most by itself, so I don't really feel it. Taking only a second to analyze and 3 seconds to produce. After 5 minutes, I can make 100 of this. Though I had no finished product to compare it to, judgment, ability evaluated, it is a high quality product. Can I be satisfied with these results? And wasn't analysis compiled way too quickly? I mean, wouldn't you expect it to take more time? Linking parallel processing was definitely the correct decision. Out of curiosity, I decided to cancel the link and try to make one. It took 50 minutes. Processing time has become terrifyingly short. I seem to have gotten my hands on a wonderful skill while being unconscious, that is. There's plenty of weed being used up inside of me, and most of the grass around here seems to be the hypocrite kind. Since it might be needed later, I might as well devour all the grass around here, and at the same time medicine is being produced. What to say, I'm still stuck in darkness, nothing else to do that I can do around here. At this time, I was completely off guard. Though my skill was passive, I had been high on finally having a conversation partner. And during these 90 days, I had never met another living thing, nor had any threat to my life. Whatever the reason, I became negligent. But Chen, attention, the person in question cannot hear. Please enjoy this objective sound effect. That's all the time I had to think as it happened. My body had suddenly become light. Or was it heavy? A bizarre situation. Had I fallen in water? During these 90 days, I have never had the experience of falling in water. That is, I was either in a cavern or inside some structure and have thus become negligent. I seem to have fallen into some river. Since there could hardly be a river inside some building, could I possibly be in an underground lake or something like that? Wait. Until recently, since I saw nothing at all, I had been carefully taking every step. But while I was busy eating grass and listening to the skills explanations, I seem to have forgotten to check my footing. I'm always like that, always getting high off good luck. Even at my company, leave it to me, it's a piece of cake. Due to those words, I've seen hell many times. I could still see the resentment in the eyes of my senpai. And seriously, what kind of idiot runs around in total darkness? Damn it, I want to beat the crap out of myself. If I leave, that's what all I do. Or so I say, but I'll probably regret without reflecting. Well, I've got time. Actually, I've got no feet, to flap in the water with, so it's not like I can even panic in this situation. I guess that's it. A short life of a man, slime, preparing to suffer from lack of air. I have said my goodbyes. Dot. And yet, I did not feel any suffering. Why? Did I not fall into water? At times like this, great sage saves the day. Let's quickly ask a question. Solution. Slime bodies move with magical energy. Since oxygen is unnecessary, breathing does not occur. Oh, I wasn't paying attention, but I guess I really aren't breathing. I see. After 90 days, I have again become a bit smarter. That being so, I seem to have really fallen into water. Not a situation where I will die, but still an unpleasant one. What to do? I don't even know whether I am floating or sinking. Since I don't have hands or feet, I don't think I can swim. If I sink to the bottom, could I crawl my way to surface? And if I am floating, would I flow? Would I flowing around like this? Rather than flowing, it feels like I'm beginning to cradled, like slowly rocked in an embrace, a rather pleasant feeling. But I guess I am not flowing anywhere. Rather than a river, this is probably a lake. It doesn't feel like I am getting carried somewhere after all. Floating, sinking, with no indication of ever reaching the bottom. This could last forever. For all I know, this is on rather bad situation. What to do? And then, my brain cell's slime body had devised a terrifying plan. What would happen if I predate a lot of water and then expel it like a water jet? Having thought of that, I immediately tested it, nothing else to do after all, but that this decision would lead to a fateful encounter that I could not have known. I am glad I had this idea, to say the least. Had I went in a different direction, this meeting would never have happened. But as if led by fate, I went into this direction, and so predating enough water to fill about 10% of my stomach. The person in question is unaware, but water levels drastically decreased. And in one breath, I released it. I completely lost my sense of place. Skill, hydraulic propulsion has been acquired. I suddenly heard a voice in my head. That's the first time I consciously heard it. This is the voice of the world. Since Great Sage never starts a conversation, I can't be mistaken, but otherwise it's exactly the same. But I don't even have an ounce of time to verify that hypothesis. With the Zagun, a feeling of acceleration envelops my body. Is this what it feels like to fly through the air? At this point, in the direction I thought I wanted to move in, I was shot out there. Hate to admit it, but maybe it's a good thing I can see. Even in this complete darkness, the sheer speed at which I feel I am moving is terrifying. Correction. No, if I could see, I'd still feel at least half as afraid, but not seeing is scary in its own way. If you had ridden on a roller coaster in a dimly lit amusement park, you could sympathize with what I am feeling. Maybe. In my life, the one time I had gone to a rat-infested amusement park is all the experience I have. And besides, in this case, there is no such thing as safety belts. I really should kick myself for coming up with this water jet propulsion idea. Act, then think, idiot. Checking safety is the first step. Up. Can't even focus my thoughts out of fear. Would this flight continue forever? And seriously, how much momentum did I even throw out when I thought that? Don, Boyon, Gororom, Zudon. And then intense pain. There was none. Did I not receive any damage? Or maybe even if I received damage, do I not feel any pain? Solution. Due to having acquired pain resistance, you do not feel any pain. Due to the physical attack resistance, damage has been reduced. Currently, the damage area is only 10%. Monster skill, slime, specific skill, regeneration has activated. Will you assist it with a unique skill predator? Yes or no? Though there's no pain, there's damage. Is that how it is? Whether that's good or not, I haven't a clue. But I am careful, maybe I would not need pain. Oh, and assist with predator? Don't really get it, but for now, yes. At that moment, it kind of felt like my body had decreased a bit, and after a bit, it had returned back to normal. It seems that I had predated on the damaged parts, analyzed and repaired them, type of thing. What a useful body. Now, should I see how much I could decrease it before this restoration method becomes unusable? However many percent my body decreased, it seems to have no effect on my movement. Even so that I do not end up in an overly dangerous situation, I should probably proceed in moderation. Yup, as you would expect, even I would become careful. This time, even though I have restorative pills, there was no need to use them. In any case, you'd expect 10% damage across the body to be a rather serious wound, but repairing it didn't even take 10 minutes. This time, if I took damage, of course, if I didn't, I'd be very happy. I'll use the medicine. And so, where would this be? Having confirmed that my body had returned to normal, I proceeded to check my surroundings. Maybe there are dangerous monsters lurking around here. Though I exited the water, it wouldn't be strange to find some amphibious monsters. I carefully started moving. Lately, it feels like when I'm careful, I fall into some rather dangerous situations. But maybe that's just my imagination, thinking that was probably a mistake. Can you hear me, little one? So I heard something. Dot dot. Status. Mikami no Satoru. Slime. Species slime. Title none. Magic none. Techniques. Unique skill. Great sage. Unique skill. Predator. Slime. Specific skill. Dissolve. Absorption. Restoration. Skill. Hydraulic propulsion. Resistances. Thermal fluctuation resistance. EX. Physical attack resistance. Pain resistance. Electricity resistance. Paralysis resistance. End of chapter 2. Chapter 3. First conversation. Skip na natin yung translator's notes. Okay, Empowerment Arc. Chapter 3, First Conversation. Did someone say little one? No matter how I think about it, they were probably talking about me. But rather than a voice, it felt more like being directly made aware of those words. At any rate, I don't go ears to hear. Oi, you can hear me, can't you? Responding would be good. I can hear you, but however, since I lack a voice, I cannot respond. As a test, too loud, Baldy. That's the answer I tried to project in my head. Well, not like you hear it anyway, so you should be fine. But how did I respond? Ho, 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 to Dane as a Baldy. Aren't you a brave one? It has been long since I have last had company, so I may have started poorly. But this one seems to be searching for death. This is bad. You heard that one. But hey, when I think words in my head, I can respond. Had I been taught that earlier, I wouldn't have to anger my partner. And besides, I don't even know what my partner is like at all. Well, that's that. Time to throw in the towel. Let's properly apologize here. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to respond, so I decided to try whatever seemed appropriate. I sincerely apologize. And on that note, I must note that I have no eyes to see with, so I cannot behold your visage. Did not reach? Well, although I can see him, who would expect him to actually be bald? Though if that's the case, then any amount of rage can only be expected. Let's also refrain from thoughtless statements. And suddenly, laughter. A perfect three-step laughter, simply breathtaking. As the anger passed, interesting, truly stated without beholding my appearance as I suspected, but for you to lack eyes. Slime species are typical thoughtless creatures that only absorb, dissolve, and regenerate. I have yet to behold one leaving their territory. Somehow he started telling a tale. Rather than abating his anger, did I win his interest? At any rate, this is the first contact. This is the first chapter in my life's slime story. I want to proceed on favorable terms and learn a lot from him. When a slime suddenly rammed my body, I naturally found it rather bizarre. At an exceptionally high speed at that. What are you? A named monster? A unique monster? Named unique? I don't understand. I apologize, but I don't really understand the meaning of what you said. Truth be told, since I have been born only 90 days, self-awareness is something impossible for a slime. Named monsters are those that have received a name, but to have had only 90 days passed since birth, in that case, unique? What would you mean by unique? Unique monsters are those who have undergone some mutation and possess unusual powers. Rarely such are born in areas with high magical energy density. I see. Your birth was founded on magical energy drawn from myself. Mumu? And what would that mean? Let's see if past worlds knowledge can be used. Figure this one out. In other words, from this old man assumption, magical energy flows and thus it has become abundant in around here. And when that energy gathered, the monster that was born from it, the slime myself, is that it? Aye, in these 300 years, a monster who could approach myself had not existed. Being born from my power, perhaps you could even lay your hands upon myself. Ho ho, in that case, you would be something akin to my parent? A parent would be the wrong way to call it. After all, I do not possess reproductive capabilities. Some monsters can reproduce and some cannot. Normally, lacking such capabilities would be normal, no? If monsters born from condensed magical energy, wouldn't reproduction be unnecessary? Little one, you are surprisingly intelligent. Normally, the monsters I think are few in number, but those that possess true intelligence would be only the margin. But that is fine. I will respond to your question. There are inferior tribes which reproduce, goblins and orcs, along with lizard men, to name a few. These are special among the monsters, and they're commonly referred to as demi-humans. Among demi-humans, there are also those who have befriended humanity, elves, hobbits, and dwarfs, those belonging to the fair magical races. Well, in a few words, those to support the Magin are called monsters, and those that support humans are recognized as a part of their species. These demi-humans would be the representatives of the reproducing monsters, though to me they are no more than trash. Next, about the Magin. Although these have been born from magical energy, they are generally beasts and magical beasts who have evolved beyond themselves. Reproductive capabilities and true intelligence are considered their special features. Most of all, these tend to vary as individuals. Among these, there are also the high-class Magin. They are the most disorganized and diverse bunch. They conclude the giants, the vampires, and the devils are the high-class magi with the longest lifespan. Although these two can reproduce, they normally abstain, hosting overwhelmingly magical energy. Their flesh never decays. And so there is no need to leave offspring, though perhaps if their numbers were to decrease due to a war or some great calamity, that may change. As one would expect, they are strong. I myself have fought with them many times, yet they are not an opponent you can face many at a time. A perfect brawling partner. Altogether, these are referred to as the demonic races, of high intelligence capable of reproduction and laying waste to humanity. These are deigned as demons by them. As for why I cannot reproduce, there is simply no need. I art a being perfect as one ano? I art a being perfect as one of the four existing dragons, the storm dragon Vildora. Such is I. I am bound by neither time nor flesh, a mass of pure magical energy, and thus I art endless. Fwahahaha. And there he goes with his high-pitched laughter. So basically, since he has no lifespan, he needs no children, that kind of thing. His explanation dragged on, but it was pretty useful. Storm Dragon Vildora, a dragon, huh? Fighting high-class Majin for fun. Ain't he a dangerous fellow? This would fit the taste of most people engrossed in manga, anime, and light novels. With all that I know, there is no question that the Storm Dragon Vildora is dangerous. And the fact that he explained everything so politely just makes this feel more ominous. Now, what to do next? Is that so? What an easy to understand explanation. Thank you very much. Well then, I'll excuse myself. With those words, I tried to take my leave. Wait, I have explained myself. Is it not your turn? Doesn't seem like a situation where I need to quickly run away. Yeah, let's talk about myself. But wait, I reincarnated into a different world. If I said that, would he even believe it? As a slime, possessing high intelligence, deceiving him would be unthinkable. If anything, he will figure out that I am trying to deceive him. That would raise a death flag, wouldn't I? Oh well, whether he believes me or not is not for me to decide. Having come to a decision, I discussed everything that happened until now. Dot dot dot. And well, that's the thing, ain't it strange? Without mentioning anything about my skills, I discussed everything from when I got stabbed to waking up as a slime and situations I've lived through. As I was saying this, it strangely did not seem a troubling situation at all, but well, it was pretty bad. The fact that I can see being the worst part of it all. If this goes on, won't I pass on every cute girls and beautiful women around? That makes me sad. I see, you had reincarnated as I thought. What a truly rare method you used. Method? And hey, aren't you supposed to be doubtful or surprised? What's with that response? Isn't reincarnation supposed to be something really rare? From the way she says it, normal birth is beginning to seem more unusual. Reincarnated tend to appear once in a while, souls with strong intentions engraved in them. Those among them who remember their past life are not all that unusual, but to have reincarnated from a different world, that is rare. Moreover, you'd normally be born from a human, but to be born as a monster and from magical energy, to say the least, that I have never heard of. To have crossed the boundaries of the worlds, just having a strong soul is not enough. Had you not stabilized your soul in this demonic body, your soul would have vanished. You are special. Is that so? I wasn't self-aware though. So there are those who have reincarnated from a different world, huh? Although there haven't been successful cases of world travel, some have wandered from there to this side. A foreigner and a world traveler. So they are called, and they possess special intellect also. They tend to have acquired some special skills. Records of reincarnated being renowned for their wisdom do remain, though there are most likely those that were never recognized. I see. Other worlds, I do not know whether they are from my Earth or not, but meeting them would not be a bad idea. Maybe there are a few Japanese around. Might as well make meeting one my goal. I see. In that case, I'll go see if I can meet any world traveler. Maybe I'll find a compatriot among them. Still, little one, you can't even see. Alright, if I can see, then what? It's inconvenient, but if I carefully hop around, I'm certain to meet them someday, probably. I shall restore your sight. Huh? What? Oi, this old man, no, this storm dragon Vildora, ain't he a good man, dragon? Can I really expect this miracle? Will you really? But there is a condition. How about it? Condition? Ominous, but what sort of condition? A simple one. When you regain your sight, do not fear me, and please come talk to me again. How about it? Is just that fine? And could it be, was this dragon just lonely, solitude born of strength? And just as I thought, the conversation went on for a while. He must not have had anyone to talk to in a while. Maybe he's just a big softy. But maybe he's not even a real dragon. Or maybe the dragons of this world aren't all that impressive. Yup, this is certainly a good deal. Is just that much enough? Truth be told, I had been sealed away for 300 years, and so I have been so plagued by boredom. How about it? If you are all right with it, then I will happily accept. Then it's a promise. Keep it. I will. As they say, I am a dependable slime. Of course, only I think so. Very well, there exists a magic perception skill. Can you use it? No, I cannot. What type of skill is it? You perceive the surrounding magical energy. It's not a major skill, and acquiring the skill is rather simple. Ho, simple, you say. Truly, it is actually not simple at all. For those like I, it is as simple as breathing. You don't even know you are doing it. I see. If I were to acquire it, would I be able to see? That is the idea. The world is covered in magical energy. There is a difference in concentration, and light and dark possess a wave-like property. Did you know? Yeah, light wave and dark waves, right? You know well. Is that the knowledge from the other world? Well, it is so. But observing these fluctuations, you can calculate the appearance of the surrounding simply, right? Huh? What the hell? This guy, how is that simply? Yeah, sounds a little difficult. What? With this, even if your eyes and ears are crushed, you can continue combat. Ambushes become impossible. It's an indispensable skill. Yeah. Let's leave the matter of combat aside from now. I just want to be able to see. If you say so, I'll help with acquisition. And by the way, I don't know another way. Wah, can you even do it? Aren't you a beginner at this yourself? Don't worry, you are among the lucky few who possesses past world memories. Thus, you know what light and darkness looks like. If you had not known, making you see would have been impossible, even for me. You are indeed blessed. I see. Explaining light and darkness would be difficult for those who have never seen them. I know, I couldn't do it. It took Helen Keller 2 years to learn the meaning of words. In other words, due to other worlds' knowledge, I can obtain through sight and hearing through the magic perception skill. Not like I can refuse to try anyways. Being unable to see is far too inconvenient. Moreover, I've forgotten about it, but I also have the great sage skill. Surely something will come from this. Please teach me. Nay, fret not. It is truly simple. First, try to move the magical energy inside your body. This I somehow understand. I think I can use the same principle as moving through the water. Like this. While enclosing it in my body, I verify movement of magical energy. Aye, though you said otherwise, you seem quite apt at this. In this case, the energy that moves within you and that which is beside you. Do you feel the difference? This is actually pretty simple. It's a good thing I spent all the time feeling magical energy. I mean, I live by absorbing it after all. Feeling it is a must. That much I understand, since I eat it, you know. Coo. Since you understand that much, the rest is simple. Feel the movement of magical energy outside of yourself. That's what I don't understand though. Anyways, as instructed, I try to feel it. I don't feel it swaying back and forth. Right? Let's active great sage. Verified. Extra skill, magic perception has been successfully acquired. Will you use extra skill, magic perception? Yes, no. Did I really just acquire it that easily? Well, yeah, of course, yes. As expected, Great Sage is reliable as always. The moment I had activated the extra skill, magic perception, my mind was filled with information. Never even as a human had I possessed that much information at once. Little by little, magical energy moving along waves of light and darkness. Having grasped all the incoming information, I convert it into one I can understand. And so I can now see 360 degrees around me without a single blind spot. A boulder shadow, the scenery, 100 meters away. If I direct my consciousness there, I can see it. If a human's mind was filled with that much information, it just might fry. But I am a slime. Every one of my cell is a muscle and a brain cell. I can definitely manage this much. And so, linking extra skill magical perception and unique skill great sage complete. My field of vision cleared up. Moreover, I was not attacked by a burning pain in my brain. That I wasn't able to do this until now is strange in itself. This is an obvious form of vision. Great sage just might be a cheat. That certainly is not an overstatement. If others held it, I would certainly be crying foul, but the one possessing it is me, so there's no problem. Well, I somehow seem to have managed it. Thank you very much. When I said that, I finally beheld that. What do you know? A real dragon, gleaming like black steel, flexible and durable, like the scales of a fish, the visage of an evil dragon. Dragon, an appearance more evil than I was expecting. A scream had escaped from my heart. Status: Mikami Satoru. Species slime. Title none. Magic none. Techniques: unique skill great sage. Unique skill predator. Slime specific skill dissolve. Absorption regeneration skill. Hydraulic propulsion. Extra skill magic perception. Resistances: thermal fluctuation resistance EX. Physical attack resistance. Pain resistance. Electricity resistance. Paralysis resistance. End of chapter 3. Chapter 4. First friend. Empowerment arc. It's, to say the least, I was surprised. Real sorry for calling you a softie. No question at all. He's dangerous. I'll blame my rude attitude on the lack of sight. Not like that will achieve anything. Oh, do you remember our promise? And besides, for all that complaining, you've learned it pretty easily. Of course, I was just kidding. I can see my surrounding and I can also hear sounds. Thank you. I could have taken more time learning it though. Well, I should be fine. Got scared a bit, but can't ignore the fact that this dragon has been so nice to me. Moreover, he really is just lonely. Just from the glance, he looks like he's lost a lot. Kind of like the crying red ogre. Title note. TL note, translator's note. Look up the ogre who cried on Google for more information. So what shall you do now? I think I'll go around looking for fellow world travelers through, though no harm if I don't find any. Finding some wood would be good, but only if on good terms. And besides, since I finally can see, might as well see the world. The world seems so much bigger now. No need to munch on grass to kill time anymore. But this dragon doesn't seem like he can even move a muscle. And you're saying he stayed like that for 300 years? By the way, Valdora-san mentioned that you have been sealed. Yes, I made the mistake of underestimating a small nuisance. Had I went all out, I would not have been defeated. Somehow, the way he announced defeated sounded prideful rather than anything. Honestly, it doesn't really seem like sword nor spear, and certainly not magic can even wound this guy. But was he really so strong? What beast could possibly be stronger than him? the outside world is scarier than I thought. Probably. It is so strong indeed, clothed in divine protection, the humanity's hero. Hero. I'm rather familiar with the term from gaming. Recently, they stumbled into the position of the hero plot line has been popular, but I don't remember them being so overpowered. In this world, seems like they are truly strong. Speaking of the hero, referring to oneself as the summoned, could the hero have been from your world? No one is that strong in my world. Nay, the world travelers in this world typically hold some special power. That is what serves as the power to etch their souls into this world. The summoned most certainly holds some special power, most likely holding the one-of-a-kind unique skill. Different from those who stumble by chance, summoned souls are especially strong. The success rate is less than 0.03%, but in this hero's case, it succeeded. When you say summoning, do you mean calling something out with magic? As you say, it is a 3-day ritual involving 30 people. The success rate is low, but success is typically met with a powerful weapon. Huh? Weapon? Aye, the summoner engraves a curse into the soul of the summoned to prevent rebellion. What's with that? Are summoned people not recognized as humans? Humans? World travels sometimes complain about that. That type of thing is but an illusion in this world. Survival of the fittest, that is the only truth in this world. I see. It's really hard to accept this world's summoning with my world's stories in mind. In that case, would the world travelers also be treated much like slaves? That would depend on the person. They have not received the monster warding charm. Those that do either live quiet lives or become adventurers or something like that. Truly, among the many foes I have repelled, quite a few came from another world. Fwahahaha. In other words, forced labor is only limited to the summoned case, huh? I do not know whether it is appropriate to call it labor, but so be it. I know much about humans, but certainly not everything. That's only to be expected. Sorry. Rather for a dragon, he seems extremely informed. Anyways, just talking makes him seem so happy, and he answers my question. So for now, the dragon and I will continue our conversation. About how he fought the hero, about how strong the hero was. White skin, deep crimson, small lips, jet black long hair, not too long, petite and thin physique. And though the eyes were hidden by a mask, that the hero was beautiful was clear. A woman, so was it her looks that got him? When I asked that, don't be spouting nonsense, came the English reply. She carried a peculiarly curved blade called the katana and fought without a shield. Unique skill, certain severance. Unique skill, endless prison. With his skills and every form of magic, she overwhelmed me. So he happily exclaimed, I understood the tale, but this dragon, he just loves humans, huh? He calls them small fry and trash, but it seems he has never killed any of them. At least those that have not earned his wrath. That one time, 300 years ago, after a certain incident, he turned one city to dust, and due to that incident, the hero was dispatched, and Vildora was sealed by the hero's skill, endless prison. I doubt I can understand the dragon's feelings, more than it just being someone else's emotion. In the end, imagination can hardly lead to true sympathy, but at least I can say that he isn't a bad dragon. And hey, I like him. Of course, I'm no longer afraid of him, and so, okay, so with me, no, can we be friends? Ouch, that's still pretty embarrassing. I must be bright red right now. Wah, what did you say? For the feared storm dragon Vildora to become friends with someone of a slight social standing? Ah, well, if you hate it that much. Stupid, you. Nobody said anything about hating. Then, what will you do? Let's see. Well, if you insist, I can consider. Somehow, it seems he is timidly stealing glances my way. Had this been done by a cute girl, I'd be very happy. But when it's done by an evil-looking dragon, well, it is interesting. I insist. Decide. If you hate, the deal's off. No second chances. Then I have no choice. I'll become your friend. Show me your gratitude. Phew, this dragon isn't very obedient. I also aren't, so we're a good fit. I also aren't, so we're a good fit. Then I'll be in your care. And let me grant you a name. You also give me one. Huh? Why? So suddenly. To etch into our souls that we are equals, as humans call it, family name type of thing. The one I grant you will bestow upon you divine protection. You still lack a name, so you shall become a named monster now. Moo. So I have to come up with a family name, one for common use, huh? I'm not really good at this stuff. Since you are called the Storm Dragon, how about simply Tempest? That's no good, right? Since it sounds good, I simply took Storm and changed it into Tempest. It's decided. What a wonderful name. He liked it. From now on, I am Vildora Tempest, and you shall be called Rimuru. Rimuru Tempest shall be the thine name, and that name was etched into my soul. From what I can see and feel, I don't feel any different. But somewhere deep in my soul, I felt something change. That would be something to mention to Vildora, wouldn't it? And so I have become friends, or would it be more appropriate to call these soulmates with him? Oh, and before I go, I wanted to ask, is there nothing you can do about that seal? Not with my power. If it were a unique skill like that of a hero, then it could perhaps be possible. You do not possess any unique skills? I do, but from the moment the seal was placed, I could no longer use any. I barely managed retaining my telepathy. At the moment, the hero's unique skill, endless prison seals, the target is endless time and imaginary space, and an unpleasant skill that does not permit interference from here. Though it does seem strange that the only thing he can do is to communicate telepathically. It's not like the skill weakens with time after all. Being able to even recognize the present and converse with other creatures all seem like example of interference. What's unusual is Vildora himself here. Of course, both us noticed this. Alright, there's something I want to try. As I said that, I touched Veldora and, attempting to predate unique skill Endless Prison via unique skill predation, failure. As expected, a hero seal is not going to be this easy. For but a second, interference with the hero skills released a blinding light, but then it returned to normal. Seems like for a brief moment, a seam opened in this endless prison, but it quickly restored itself. And anyway, since it's also a unique skill, something will happen. Type of thing will only lead to trouble. Isn't there anything I can do? What to do? Solution. Unique skill Endless Prison has been partly analyzed. I shall present the escape method. It is impossible for flesh to escape, physical damage-wise. The chance of destroying the prison is 0%. With regards to the imaginary space escape method, the analysis proved impossible. Analysis in identical situation imprisonment in an endless prison is necessary for analysis. Therefore, currently, this is impossible. The chance of releasing a spiritual body is 1%. Should one prepare a host for the spirit ahead of time and move there in the process, the success rate increases to 3%. At the moment, this process is similar to reincarnation. Should the affinity with the host be poor, memories and skills will all be reset. End of the report on escape methods. Fumu. The chances are far too low. Doesn't look more than film this endless prison skill, but for it to be impervious to physical damage, there must be some weakness to this absolute defense. Did the hero take any damage? Any wounds or something? Well asked. Our blows were well watched, and I have landed a few direct hits, but there was no effect. Death, calling winds, black lightning, and even storm of distraction, all are skills that cannot be evaded, and yet no effect. I give up. It was laughable, and all other similar babble would end in Vildora's loud laughter. Unique skill Endless Prison was definitely used to cover her body. If all outside interference is negated, no shield is necessary. What a useful skill. Unique skill Certain Severance. Unique skill Endless Prison. If you combine these two, wouldn't you be essentially invincible? Definitely don't want to meet her. She should have passed away by now, so should be okay. Without a question, she belonged in the strongest class. In reality, Valdora was also in the strongest class, but the Rimuru of the time could not have known this. Anyways, the escape to host method, huh? To escape a host to transfer the soul to seems to be necessary. It seems also possible to escape in a spiritual body, but the success chance is low. Don't really see the reason to mention the percentages. If Vildora's desire to escape decreases, so could the chances. There was an escape method. Honestly, after some 100 years, my magical energy hit empty. Probably since I didn't stop the flow of magical energy. I see, that would be the reason why the magical energy concentration around here is so high. The truly strong monsters also avoid this area. Grass also hardly grows underground. Only some rare vegetation inhabits these caves. I remembered about the hypocti grass. In this case, it's a pretty valuable medicine. Well, since that's the case, will you attempt to escape? If you had a place to transfer to, the chances would be higher, and also what's considered a good host. Unfortunately, even if I detach my spirit, to gather the magical energy into a single core is rather difficult. By opening a seam in the seal, that's how this will succeed. And the host, that is preparing a new core and moving their reincarnation. This guy, I thought that he might be slightly slow-witted, but he perfectly understood all of it. How wondrous. He reached the same conclusion as the great sage. That's the thing. So if there's something you can prepare, should I go look for it? The thing is, I don't really need a core. Oh, and keep this secret. I am a being perfect as one, especially durable. I am a spiritual life form and thus have no attachment to this body. I merely responded to the wishes of religions and the like when forming it. Again, with that incomprehensible stuff. And so we spoke until I understood. The result, gather the magical energy with one's mind and then form from the flesh. At the moment, the flesh being bound is beyond question, but the mind also cannot affect the surrounding magical energy. That's the situation. So I asked if he could live as a spirit. That is impossible. I would require an offering, is what he said. If he were to live in this way, he would scatter with the magical energy and cease to exist. And somewhere else, another storm dragon would be born. That is one means of escape, but if there's no meaning to it, if it means becoming a different person, I'm at a loss. Wouldn't eating Veldora with Predator be a better alternative? Place him into the Predator's stomach, analyze at depth the endless prison's effects, and eliminate just them. Could this work? Solution. Target Veldora can be absorbed with the unique skill Predator. It's possible, huh? If I explain it, will he consent? If this goes on, after 100 years of isolation, only to disappear would be his fate. And so I explained to Veldora the Predator ability and how I thought to use it. This would be impossible, however, without the great sage ability correction. Kuhahaha. Interesting. Of course I'll try it. To you, I'll entrust my everything. Should you be trusting me so easily? Of course, rather than waiting for you to come back here, tearing endless prison asunder and living together inside of you sounds so much more amusing. I see. Not alone together. Not alone, together. Isn't it fine? With Great Sage and Predator, I'll continue analysis and seek to free Veldora from his imprisonment. And in the stomach, there is no fear of scattering and disappearing. I think we can do this. Alright, I'll eat you now. Try to break out of endless prison, okay? Cuckoo, leave it to me. Don't wait, I'll pause it for you. Okay, I made my decision. I touched Veldora and begin predation. In a second, the giant Veldora disappeared from my view. That was too quick. He was speaking up until a second ago. Having disappeared so suddenly makes me lonely. The skill highly depends on the target's resistance to being absorbed, but as expected of Veldora, no resistance whatsoever. Must say, I'm surprised. I could absorb that huge body. It seems that at the moment, my stomach is 25% occupied. Just how big of a space have I got in there? And will you begin analysis of the unique skill Endless Prison? Yes, I beg you. As if in a prayer, I accepted. End of chapter 4. Chapter 5. First steps. On that day, an earthquake rippled across the world. The calamity-class monster storm, Dragon Veldora, has disappeared. The one sealed for 300 years, the living calamity. His disappearance signifies his return somewhere in this world. And yet, 20 days after the disappearance, the Western Saints Church declared his presence to have completely vanished. Count Nidol Maigam remained indignant. That's bullshit, he cursed while remembering the cardinal's words. Cardinal Nicholas Fertas. Even the mention of his name evoked the Count's anger. The threat known as the Storm Dragon Veldora has disappeared. Therefore, the provisions and monetary support from the Saints Church shall be immediately halted. And having unilaterally so exclaimed, the cardinal ended the discussion, and more than ignoring anything that they had to say, he even made them wait for 3 hours. Though it is true that the emergency funds have been given to combat emergency, but the lands bordering the Great Jura Forest, the Count's property, is the primary defense line of the entire Pharma's kingdom. That is, although Storm Dragon Veldora had been sealed, he was nonetheless a potent threat, and even for monsters that was no exception. No, actually, he was especially a threat for the monsters. The fact that this threat has disappeared can only be attributed to monsters' movements. Although farmers should be improving their defenses, they are cutting them instead. This was the cause of Count Nidol Maigam's indignation, and though the Western Saints Church had valid reasons, none of them mattered to Nidol. How should he protect his lands now? He has the money for mercenaries, not the right time to be hiring adventurers. As a last resort, he could appeal to the king, but just remembering the king's face induces despair. It would be difficult to explain how the support funds received until now were used. Without a threat, it is natural for defense spending to be cut, and if this were handled poorly, he'd have to raise taxes. Just the thought of cost Nidol to grimace. On the way back to his domain in a carriage, his thoughts were filled with devising countermeasures. Focusing only on monsters, Nidol could not have thought of anyone else to make use of. Yet Nidol was not the only one troubled by the situation. Pharma's kingdom in a country of moderate strength, and thus they have abstained from expanding the frontier, and thus there is little posing danger to them. As Nidol expected, many cabinet ministers are planning to reduce defense spending. However, other countries surrounding the Jura Forest may not do the same. To not regret it later, each must come up with some countermeasures. The kings and ministers of those are now hastily hosting emergency council to devise strategy. One such troubled individual is the Baron Belorard, minister of the tiny country called Brumund. There could only be one reason for me to call you. You have heard about the Storm Dragon Veldora. I take it. With an overwhelming attitude, the Baron directed his question to the man who had entered the room. Of short stature yet of serious appearance, the man never failed to maintain eye contact. Of course, my lord, was the simple reply. His voice was deep and coarse. Aye, as expected of a guild master. Is that what I should say? Baron Beloward snorted and continued as if spitting out every word. So, what is the guild planning on doing? Nothing in particular. No plans I am aware of. What? I didn't really get that. Are you saying there are no countermeasures at all? Yes, we see no need for any. The guild master responded apathetically, with an appearance that asked, why would Baron Beloward be mad? And although the Baron saw that attitude, he continued while ignoring it. In the first place, whether his efforts would be answered. What is necessary depends on the person, I imagine. The disappearance of the storm dragon is surely a plot by the monsters. Would we not need countermeasures against that? That's a funny thing you have said. Countermeasures are planned by a country. We are a free guild, not a group of volunteers, you know. It was so. Their freedom lay in the fact that they were outside of the country's system. Compared to the normal laborer, their lifestyle was not guaranteed. However, basic social status was. Moreover, they were granted appropriate lands. Thus, they at least have the duty of paying taxes. To explain, let's consider the example of a cook. The cook who belongs to the country pays the social status tax along with the one appropriate for his income. For this, the country protects his life and property. On the other hand, the guild cook pays significantly less in taxes for the fee that he pays to the guild. He receives the guild protection of his persona. However, protecting his property becomes his problem. Also, a country cook can one day open a store in the castle and have his children inherit it. A guild one has no such privilege, and thus sets his store in the castle vicinity. Moreover, should he even establish a successful store, his children cannot inherit it. It's from this fact that citizens have acquired a deep-rooted prejudice and hatred for the free guilders. Nor is the system unique only to Brumund. In fact, basically every country around follows the same rules. On the other hand, the free guild has surpassed every regime in existence, and they possess the greatest organizational power. Whether by coincidence or intention, they operate right under the country's nose while maintaining an underground society appearance. Protecting the citizens' property is the basic duty of a country, isn't it? Similarly, we have to protect our associates. Don't we both have it tough? Hearing these impudent words, Baron Beloward could no longer conceal his anger. Since the morning, nothing has been going his way. Enough of this pointless chatter. From the Free Guild, how many soldiers can you send? How many adventurers excel at combat? How many can be used to protect this city? The guildmaster could only sigh. Make no mistake, we are not a volunteer group. If mobilized together with the country's forces, I could perhaps gather 10% of our associates. If you require any more, there has to be proper remunerations. There are 10 million people living in Brumund. Of the 7,000 are guild members, their families not included in the count. In the case of a joint exercise, the Free Guild can provide 10% of its members, about 700 people in this case, who would serve the country. As a side note, the guild members of this country cannot apply for membership in another country's guild. Thus, although they are free, there is a clear allegiance. Alliance. Additionally, it will take time to make the joint mobilization official, and in the meantime, the tax has to be agreed upon to be set at 20%. Forces can be used, but that will definitely hurt the revenue. And in the first place, it's not like the guild can immediately come up with approximate tax levels for its members. Moreover, implementing the tax and communication with the guild is nearly impossible, since half of its members are non-combatants. Even a king understands this much. For that reason, extortion is normally avoided, but this is no longer a normal situation. The monsters are moving. That in itself is a big reason, but it is not the main one. Enough. Hey, Hughes, what's in your mind? The guildmaster, No, Hughes was surprised at being suddenly called by his name. And for the first time he looked Baron Billoward right in the face. We had a non-aggression pact on the land where the Storm Dragon was sealed. Now the Empire may choose to claim that route. Exactly. Whether they were holding back around Vildora or afraid of damaging the seal, I don't know. However, they have begun to move. Do you understand? If they claim that forest, all the surrounding countries will be swallowed up, to say the least of the Eastern Saints Church abilities. Those countries surrounding the Jura forest that fail to prepare properly will end up under the Empire in the blink of an eye. The church will not move. They care little for the mundane things for them. It is defeating the demons that is their holy duty. As you say, but if one knight were to decide to move, and unless the Empire does something stupid when not fighting monsters, they have to earn their keep, don't you think? Impossible. For the church, the whole country can go under, and it won't be any skin off their backs. Not like the church can strive to save every believer. Looking at the Baron's face, this is what Hughes thought. He looked so exhausted. It's not impossible, but he probably had been aging a year by a day here. The truth is, these two are childhood friends. For the Baron, having intimacies and friendships be revealed public can become rather inconvenient, and so the two have made it seem like they were using each other and acted to display their hatred for each other. This small country would be unable to weather the coming storms alone, but perhaps this is all just empty panic. Yes, the Emperor had begun to move, but it is not as if they had already invaded. Just for the monsters, there are plenty of countermeasures. The Emperor hadn't revealed its intentions yet, did it? Anyways, I'll go check it out by myself. Don't expect much, but I'll try to see what is going on in Jura Forest and with the Empire's movements. Sorry and thanks. Right, what the Emperor will do is yet undecided, and even if they move, rather, their attack will become a large-scale war. Even they would not fare well against constant ambushes and skirmishes. With 100,000 soldiers, they could surely crush every surrounding country. But to that end, extensive preparations are needed. At least 3 years. Can say that is much time, but enough to carefully plan ahead. Anyways, I'm off to collect data. Early bird catches the worm, right? Please. And with a nod, the two parted on their shoulders, a burden as heavy as a mountain. Cardinal Nicholas Pertas was welcoming Count Nidol Maigam's departure with a thin smile. That leech, he exclaimed with a benevolent smile and sighed. Doesn't believe in God, but just crowds around the church's money and power. Doesn't believe in God, but just crowds around the church's money and power. Nicholas was testing Count Nidol Maigam, and not just him. All those in the church were thinking the same thing. Those who believe in God should swear allegiance to the Holy Empire Robirios. The Eastern Saints Church took the empire's faith and merely elected the Pope as their ruler. As far as they are concerned, the Holy Empire is essentially the main temple, and their citizens are the empire's believers. Further, those living in other countries yet professing to believe must remember that this seat is punished, as God comes before all. Therefore, all those idiots making excuses against becoming the emperor's citizens do not deserve any mercy. That is the opinion of every man serving under Nicholas regarding the Eastern Saints Church. Nicholas himself was of the opinion that heretics that do not believe in God should all be killed, but there was a person who offered a scornful smile to those words. World traveler Sakadachi Hinata, she said this, waste of effort, it takes tremendous force to change the hearts of those who believe in other gods. Rather than that, lend them your hand and accept theirs. That is the most proven method. Save the people from monsters and convince them that you represent justice, and since wars aren't going to just up and disappear, in times of trouble, offer support. Monsters are humanity's common enemy, but the same is not true for humanity, is it? No need to pointlessly provoke aggression. Normal people are idiots. If you save them when they are in trouble, they'll quickly believe. Isn't that the entire reason, Detre, of the church? The girl was pragmatic, neither promoting atheism nor rejecting religion, just thoroughly used both. For Nicholas, that seemed like a cold-headed approach. Nicholas was watched, with a sight so cold it could kill. All we need is to wait. Let the earthly country's strength fall, and then demand you Jews. Those words caused him to shudder. Was that excitement or fear? Yet Nicholas obeyed, and as a result, the church has changed greatly during these 10 years. Their influence speaking for itself, in just 7 years, they became a topic discussed in every nation. Having achieved these things, Nicholas was promoted from a bishop to a cardinal, and it was all thanks to that girl. Well, just as The girl said, there is a way to use even a leech. Nicholas was considering this current situation. The Emperor's movements are unclear, and the monsters are becoming increasingly active. I'll definitely become busy from now on. How will that girl move? Might be a good idea to try contacting her. Right now, she would be the Imperial Guard directly under the Holy Knights Division, Sakadechi. End of chapter 5.